tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Happy Sober Sundays to you and stuff. Sober and stuff. Got the they didn't decline me for my disability. They want more information, which is actually a good thing. Yeah, good thing. Happy Sunday. I hope your weekend is going well. I am having a good weekend. Yeah, got the grandkids. They, and then they have their cousins, so they're all, it's all about the cousins. It used to be about the grandparents. Now it's about the cousins. Both my wife and agreed that they're all growing up a little too fast for us, and we would appreciate it if they would slow down a little bit. Makes me sad. I want one more baby, just one more. But they all said no. I asked. Right. I have 2 from the oldest, 2 from the youngest, and then 2 from the 2 middle, or 1 from the 2 middle. And they owe me 1 more. Right? Wouldn't you agree, Shannon, Shay, and Megan owe us 1 more baby? She might not be able to hear me. All right. They owe us another baby, don't they? Yeah, 1 more. They're not going to do it, though.
The only reason they would ever have another child is if they adopted.
Okay. I understand that. Yeah.
She had a rough pregnancy.
Yeah. It's kind of personal. I'm not going to bring that up. They can't hear you. So that was my special guest, my wife. So, yeah. No more grandchildren. It's all right. It's just something I'm talking about. All right. Shall we get to Dion's Daily Funnies? All right. Why shouldn't you trust another artist? Because they can be sketchy. I'll be playing yesterday. We had a meeting last night, and we asked somebody to speak, and it did not go very well. Talked about Jesus a lot, and a lot of people left, and that kind of upset me, but that's also my problem. They want to hear it. I don't blame them. I don't have to. But then I don't see them the next day, then it starts to make me wonder. It makes me feel abandoned. Maybe we'll talk about that instead of doing jokes, because I'm not really in doing a joke mood. All right. Now, is that on other people? No, it's not. But we have to work with what we have and what we know at all times. See, without truth, I don't have anything to work with. Right. Fact of the matter is, most of my followers show up to almost everything that I do. So, and they're not even followers, they're my friends. So we're just going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get to it today, is what we're going to do. I'm just not in the mood for telling a bunch of jokes. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm not necessarily in a bad mood. I had some over the top nightmares last night, and yeah, we're gonna leave it. It's so even when I woke up this morning, it was I'm still not here quite yet. I'm still kind of caught up in my nightmares, right? And that's probably why I'm feeling that way because my nightmares are there's one theme. Somebody spreads a lie about me that is not true. That's why it's a lie. And everybody else believes it and condemns me for it. Every time. That's it does the scenery can change, the people can change, but that is always what happens. And I try and fight so that people will hear me so that I'll be heard and it doesn't work. And then when that doesn't happen, I get really frustrated and I start killing people. I'm like, well, if you're not going to listen to me, I'm just going to kill you. Yeah. All right. So it's just not, I gotta be careful. Not careful, but man. ugh. Dear Lord, can I just have drunk dreams? All right. Let's get into something a little bit. I want, let's get in more into something, a shift a little bit here so that Dion can get on the right track because I've already been I haven't really been pissy, but I could definitely be a little bit better. So let's do it. We got several people here, just making sure that chat is working. I got no chat over here. All right. So we just have a lot of quiet people today, and that's all right. It's all right. You're here. Thank you. Hey, Harold. Good to see you. Hello, my friend. I'm good this weekend, enjoying my recovery every day. Yeah, that is the one nice thing. Yeah, I may have had nightmares, but I ain't hungover. I do not miss being hungover, that's for sure. I would rather deal with my nightmares. See, but there's a part of my brain that's like, well, when you drink, you don't dream, and then you wouldn't have those nightmares. But it would come back tenfold. No, all right. So we're on page 100 in the big book, working with others. Um, we're gonna probably have another flux of summer's coming up. That's when we get another flux. We're gonna get another flux of newcomers here. Yeah. You probably saw it this last week. I know that I had to send a few more verifications than usual this week. All right, which tells you then these are newcomers and meetings are for the newcomer, right? Newcomer is the most important person in the room. These are all things that we can agree on. All right. Meeting excuse me, meeting the newcomer where they're at. We have these capabilities, right? So let's get into it. Both you and the new man must walk day by day in the path of spiritual progress. If you persist, remarkable things will happen. Not just cool things, things that are nice, remarkable miracles, wholesale miracles will happen. Well, what they are, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to be for you, right? I know what they are for me. The the fact that I even wake up in the morning is a miracle in and of itself. I should be dead. But for the grace of God, that delayment of death, I am still here. And there's reasons for it. Those reasons are to be Mr. Grumpy Cat for the day. I'm notoriously bitchy on Sundays, which is a bad habit. See, just saying that reinforces it. We can't have that. All right. My granddaughter, she kind of moping around earlier. Hi, Michelle. Good to see you. She was kind of moping around. She got braces this last week. All right. I even avoided, eating popcorn this weekend because I knew she couldn't have any. I didn't want, I don't want to feel bad, right? But she was kind of moping. Like, what's going on? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. All right. But she wouldn't pick a food. Well, Dion knows what this is. She was bored or something. something was going on. So, and when she told me I'm like, is something else going on? No, not that I could think of. My spidey sense, like, that's not quite true. But she didn't know what was wrong. That she was being honest about. So I finally got her to, it was a bowl of cereal. It was healthy cereal. It was good cereal. All right. And you know what she needed? She just needed to eat a little bit and she needed a little time alone is what she needed. So I gave her the space. That's fine. But I was talking to her and, I work with my grandkids the same way where I'm like, we cannot, honey, we cannot live in the problem. We have got to search for the solution to what's going on. So, all right. And it's true for us as much as it is for that 7-year-old, 7 or 8. If I got the age wrong, I'd be in so much trouble. We're gonna go with 8 because it's older, and if I'm wrong, then it's better. Am I correct? She's 8. Sweet. I'm learning. I'm lucky. The only reason I know how old I am is because I was born in 1970. It's a nice even number. All right. When we look back, we realize that the things which came to us when we put ourselves in God's hands were better than anything we could have planned. Follow the dictates of a higher power, and you will presently live in a new and wonderful world, no matter your present circumstances. Right? Yeah, it's true. It's not an easy proposition, right? Because if you go back in this, what they're talking about, no matter what his circumstances are, if you go back to page 98, what they said here was burned into the consciousness of every man that he can get well regardless of anyone. The only condition he is that he trusts in God and clean house. Before that, he says, it is not a matter of giving that is in question, but when and how to give. This often makes the difference between failure and success. The minute we put our work on a service plane, that means telling them what to do and how to live their lives. That's what that means. The alcoholic commences to rely upon our assistance rather than upon God. Okay. I meet with my sponsees once a week. If they need me during the week, they can call me. Go live your life. Go live your darn life. I send you home with a bunch of homework, and I'm not going to go outside of the program. All right. So anyway, he clamors for this or that, claiming he cannot master alcohol until his material needs are cared for. Nonsense. Some of us have taken very hard knocks to learn this truth, job or no job, wife or no wife. We simply do not stop drinking so long as we place dependence upon other people ahead of dependence upon God. All right. Now, the first time I got sober, I was living on Skid Row. I went to a halfway house for homeless alcoholics at the age of 18. The excuses they're not going to work on me. I've been there. I have watched people who have lived on Skid Row for 20 years reclaim their lives while living on Skid Row. I've seen it happen. Okay. So what's weird is I'm a housing first person, which is kind of weird, but that's because I was homeless. Hey, well, Dion, they're not gonna. Well, they're drinking, so and they don't deserve to have a safe, secure place. Their life must be tumultuous. Stop forcing rock bottom on people. People, I mean, even therapists are pulling this shit out now. Doctors, no, it's wrong. Just saying. Anyway, that's not what I was going on with that, right? You can do it. You can do it. You can't. I don't care how far down you've gone, how mangled you are. I've seen the worst of the worst. And then I became one of them. 6 months to live. I did it. I'm here. If I can do it, you can do it. Right? If my daughter and well, Dion, you went pretty your party. I'm not gonna go there. Well, okay, great. My daughter did it. She's 30. She's doing it. I know plenty of people under the age of 30 in this program that are working this program. Absolutely. See, there's no excuse. You're not going to be able to give me or a recovered alcoholic an excuse good enough to drink. I was going to call this the No Matter What Club. That was going to be the title. When working with a man and his family, you should take care not to participate in their quarrels. No. Mm-mm. I remember I was working with one guy, and this girl was just running him through the ringer. Just running him through the ringer. I couldn't say nothing. All I could do is help him work through each situation. It was hard for me to say, you need to get the fuck away from her. I couldn't say, that is not for me to say. He had to come to that decision himself. Right. Michelle says, I see rock bottom in a whole new light. Thank you. Thank you for being open-minded. And I apologize. I've been bringing it up so lately. It's just I keep seeing it. I don't want to beat a dead rock. That was great. If you know my description of rock bottom, you'll get that joke. Right? So do not get involved in their quarrels. Do not tell them to go on meds. Do not tell them to go off meds. Okay? You can recommend therapy if you're going. You don't get to recommend therapy unless you're going to therapy or have done therapy yourself because you don't have an experience with it, right? Let you well, right? What you looking for, baby?
Dishes.
Oh, I'm good. Thank you, baby. So, but you may spoil your chance of being helpful if you do, but urge upon a man's family that he has been a very sick person and should be treated accordingly. You should warn against arousing resentment or jealousy. The way it is set up now, there's a chance that you probably won't ever meet the family. You might never, ever, ever, ever meet the family. See, this was back when we would bring somebody to an AA meeting, but we would bring their family too because Al-Anon and Alateen was going on. This is a family disease. It affects everybody, and everybody in the family is to some extent spiritually sick. It should point out that his defects of character are not going to disappear overnight. Show them that he has entered upon a period of growth. Ask them to remember when they are patient the blessed fact of his sobriety. Now, just because I don't know the family, everybody that's important in my sponsee's family knows who I am. Absolutely. Because they're walking behind them, and I say the same stuff, man. Because if the family can hear me talking also, then I can help them too. All right. There's been a lot of times where somebody has overheard somebody else watching my video or overhearing me talking. That's like, what did you just say? Yeah. Be proud of your recovery. Recover out loud. You're not required to. You don't have to. Maybe you're not there. That's all right. But yeah, be proud. Recover out loud, man. I'm proud of my sobriety. I'm proud of my recovery. Absolutely. Right. I've settled the past. Now I get to use it to help other people. What is that? Well, it's another miracle, and it happens on a daily basis. That means I get miracles all day. The fact that I got to sit down with my granddaughter this morning and figure out what it is that she actually wanted, a miracle. Drinking? No way I could have done that. Something that simple. No way. I wouldn't even be awake. Well, I might be, but I'd be drunk. All right. If you have been successful in solving your own domestic problems, now you can't tell them what to do. Don't no. But you can share your own experience. Right, and that's what it's about to say. Tell the newcomer's family how that was accomplished. Now, like I said, we don't have that chance to do that much. How many families do you know? You might, and awesome. I think that's so cool. And it's one of the reasons why I started Trudging with the Millers, so that people could see families working this together, right? And there's, we had what and everything's represented. AA is represented, Al-Anon and Alateen. All three of those are represented because I was in AA and Alateen. Shannon went to Al-Anon and Alateen, and my daughter has been to AA and Alateen. So you get all three. Yeah. So, excuse me. Excuse me again. In this way, you can set them on the right track without becoming critical of them. The story of how you and your wife settled your difficulties is worth any amount of criticism. All right. Now, you might think that you're going to be stupid, boring, and glums like some righteous people you see, but I tell you right now, there's more adventure in recovery than there was drinking. See, when I was drinking, it was an adventure, but I was always getting myself out of scrapes. Now I get to go on adventures and I get to enjoy them, even with the confusion or the chaos or the things that are going on with them. I get to be that person that says, wait a minute, what's the solution to all this? I used to be on this team called the West Side Drug Free Youth Team. This was back when I was 19. And we'd gone up to Leadville for a conference, right? And we had this old shitty van. It was 1989, 1990, right? And this old shitty van. And we were coming back down the hill and it died. And we had been sitting there for, I don't know, about an hour. Nobody stopped to help us. Nobody, yeah, no one. And we had been pushing rocks down the hill, got yelled at for that. But anyway, so go back to the van. We're sitting in the van, and I said, have we tried praying? Have we tried praying? It just came to me. And Pat, the guy that led the group, great man, great man. I miss Pat so much. Patrick B. Hill, he did so much. He saved a lot of fucking children, a lot. And he was about my age that I am now. So we all prayed. Band started right up. Didn't have another problem the rest of the ride. Huh? Wow. Yeah. So, assuming we are spiritually fit, we can do all sorts of things alcoholics are not supposed to do. Yeah. Oh, well, you can't do this. You can't do that. Now, there's a requirement there. Assuming you are spiritually fit, if you're still shaky, probably best stay away for a little bit until you're on solid ground. People have said we must not go where liquor is served. We must not have it in our homes. We must shun friends who drink. We must avoid moving pictures which show drinking scenes. We must not go into bars. Our friends must hide their bottles if we go to their houses. We mustn't think or be reminded about alcohol at all. Our experience shows is not necessarily so. We meet these conditions every day. Yeah. Now, if we're going to bubble wrap somebody with an addiction, what about food? Yeah, you can't live without food. We've got to meet the conditions, or you're not going to be able to go out there and help other people. You won't be able to because you can't meet the conditions. Right? This is the example that I use on this. A couple years ago, they wanted to pass a law where a part of like Mile High Stadium or these stadiums, when you have big events, like 8% is put aside for people who are sober. This is called bubble wrapping. This is we need to protect. Well, we need our own space. Bullshit. Our job is to be maximum service to God and world around us. And if we're hiding in the sober area, we aren't helping other people. We are being satisfied with what we have. And that spells danger. You are supposed to be available 24 hours a day for the man that may, or woman, or person, whatever, that needs help, that is reaching out for help. But if you're too busy hanging out in the sober area, you ain't gonna be able to do that. What are you really trying to do? Avoiding the work. Avoiding the work. And there were people in recovery that wanted that. Now, I say they were in recovery, but I would not consider that recovered. I would consider it unthinking. Of course, they wanted to pass the law because it would have made them more money. There was okay. The intention was that they made more money, not to help you. Wasn't it? It was see how high I can jump. I have new shoes and I can run really, really fast. That's what that is. So we meet these conditions every day. An alcoholic who cannot meet them still has an alcoholic mind. There is something the matter with his spiritual status. That's the problem, right? In our belief, any scheme of combating alcoholism which proposes to shield the sick man from temptation is doomed to fail. Yes. If an alcoholic tries to shield himself, he may succeed for a time, but he usually winds up with a bigger explosion than ever. We have tried these methods. These attempts to do the impossible have always failed. Michelle says, first time sober, my husband and I go see Jimmy Buffett at an outdoor concert. I'm sure we were the only sober people there. Well, yeah, Jimmy Buffett. It probably smelled like alcohol, weed, and Ben Gay. And you probably had those three smells. Yeah, when his main song's Margaritaville, right? Great artist, Jimmy Buffett's. I don't seek out Jimmy Buffett's song, but I won't change it if it comes on the radio, right? That's pretty funny. And you probably were. Right. So our rule is not to avoid a place where there is drinking if we have a legitimate reason for being there. That includes bars, nightclubs, dances, receptions, weddings, even plain ordinary whoopee parties. To a person who has had experience with an alcoholic, this may seem like tempting providence, but it isn't. No, we that is part of the sacrifice, and we give up these things so you can be a part of. You want to be a part of these things, or you're going to feel left out again. If we do stuff special for you, you're going to expect more of it. No, no. You need to be free to go where you need to go. Yeah. Well, if the person that you're helping sitting next to a liquor store, you'd be okay with that. When you go 12 step, if you go 12 step call people, they will ask you if you want to drink because they don't want to drink alone. They ask, you want to drink? No, and you're not drinking in front of me. We're gonna do a 12 step call. In fact, why don't we pour that stuff out? Let's get the detox. Let's get you going here, man. Yeah, I poured plenty of booze down at other people's houses. Yeah, I missed hopping in the car 2 o'clock in the morning, meeting somebody else, and going and doing a 12 step call. Now, when we were in the Phoenix concept, it wasn't hard to grab that second person. There were 12 of us living there. Two of us would hop in the car. Our phone would ring all the time. I saw the stats for the 12 step calls, 47 last month. That's not enough. I think it should be a little bit more. But what do I know? What do I know? And that's opinionated. But it helped out 47 people. So it did work, right? Yeah. See, we have that. We either focus on what the problem was or what the solution is. Well, problem is we don't have enough people calling in. So what's the solution? Go recover out loud. Be a good example. Let people see that AA works. We're an attraction. So what's the answer? Be a better person. Yeah. Very straightforward. All right. If you like what we do here, please like, love, and share. Anything helps. The Daily Trudge likes to be self-supporting. You can donate Venmo at Trudging Together, Cash App Dion G. Miller. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And keep on